All right, this is Boxing with the Truth, and you're here with the Truth today, and we're interviewing light welterweight boxing prospect Johnny Garcia out of Holland, Michigan, who's 16-1. And this Friday night at September 6th, 7 p.m. at Grandma Sports Garden in Duluth, Minnesota, he will be facing a very, very tough opponent, Gilbert Venegas, who is actually 12-9, but don't be fooled by his record because he is a very tough opponent and he has fought a lot of undefeated fighters and gone the distance. So Johnny, let me start out first. Let's talk about your fight a little bit. What do you know about your opponent?
Just like you were saying, he's real durable, he's a tough fighter, and he comes to fight all the time. That he's strong and that he's going to come to fight and he's not going to lay down. So I'm excited about that.
Have you ever seen him fight?
I've seen a little bit of video, a few clips on YouTube of him, and yeah, he comes forward, throws a lot of punches, and he looks like he's got heavy hands.
So you think you're going to end up going the distance with this guy? I mean, he's only been knocked out twice in his career.
You know, we'll see. You know, I trained for 10 rounds to fight 10 rounds. If I see him hurt and can get him out of there early, I'll do that for sure.
Get him all early with that body shot you got, huh?
Yeah, body head.
For the fans that don't know, Johnny has a very wicked body shot. You can actually hear it coming before it lands. So if you are there Friday night, look out for that body shot because you will hear it coming. Okay, another thing, you actually just got in town here in Duluth, Minnesota from out in California out at Wild Card Boxing Gym, correct?
Right.
So what were you doing all the way out in California instead of in Michigan training for this fight?
I set up my training camp with my coach Eric Brown at Wild Card Boxing Gym, Freddie Roach's gym in Los Angeles. So that's where I set up camp. I was there for the last 4 weeks training for this fight here in Duluth. So
that's a pretty big deal if you're out in Freddie Roach's camp and training with his guys and stuff. So I mean, that's definitely out of the Midwest. So you obviously got some good people behind you, and you must really be trying to go somewhere.
Yeah, you know, I'm trying to get to that next level, and I just feel like I need to expand and get out and you know, be around world-class fighters and world-class trainers like where I was at Wild Card. So that's what we did. That's what we've been doing the last 3 fights, is training at Wild Card.
So what are you learning out there in Los Angeles out at Wild Card that you think that you just wouldn't be learning in Michigan fighting?
You know, there's a lot of those coaches over there have a lot of years in championship fights and world title fights, and you know, there's just still teaching the basics, but you know, the sparring is great, the training is great, and just the whole atmosphere around being around world champions on a daily basis and seeing how they train and getting in there and mixing it up with them and sparring with them, you know, I just feel like that's going to take my career to the next level for sure.
Okay, and I mean, I know you have a bigger fan base than just Michigan because you have actually had some TV fights. You have fought on TV before, right?
Right, I fought on Showtime twice last year.
Okay. Now, unfortunately, one of those fights was a loss, though, right? That was your first loss of your career?
Right, I got 1 loss, yeah.
And just to clarify for the fans, your opponent was 13-0 during that fight, and you were 13-0 during that fight. So somebody had to take a loss.
Yeah, we got the call from Don King's people for a Showtime main event in Miami against another undefeated fighter. You know, you can't be scared. Chances make champions. So we took the fight. It was at a lower weight class. I feel like that's where, you know, that's what caused me to lose. You know, he was a real good fighter, nothing away from him, but I dropped to a lower weight that I had never fought at and I wasn't comfortable at. But, you know, you learn from your mistakes, and, you know, that's one thing I learned is to stay at my weight class because, you know, I was undefeated before that fight at 140 pounds or 140 plus. For that fight in Miami, I went down to 135 and ended up weighing 133. But you just learn from your mistakes, so I'm going to stay at junior welterweight or right above it and keep fighting there.
So actually, for this fight, you're actually fighting at a weight class just 1 step higher than you've been fighting in most of your career, right?
Yeah, there's the contracted weight is at 144 pounds. I know Gilbert Venegas is a little bit heavier. I think he fights like junior middleweight or light middleweight, like 154, and he said he'd come down to 144 to fight me, so we made the fight happen at that weight.
And is there any reason why that you guys, in particular, with all the opponents out there right now, why you guys picked Gilbert for this fight, or?
I didn't pick him personally. I got a manager that makes all my fights and picks my matches, the ones that we can get. And, his name must have came across, and after looking him up, they seen that, he's a tough, strong fighter, and that it'd make for a great fight for the fans and for me to learn from, because the guy has went the distance plenty of times, and he's a tough fighter, so we're going to see how it plays out. But I just know that he's supposed to be a real tough fight for me, so that's why we took it. So
do you consider this guy like a gatekeeper to the next level? Some people might say he's kind of in your way to get to the next level.
After I beat him, I feel like it'll be a big win because, like you said, he's fought a lot of good fighters. He's went the distance with a ton of them. I think he's beat a few. I just know he's a strong fighter, and that his record's 12-9-4 with 4 draws. You don't know how those come out, but you can't. Records can be deceiving sometimes. A guy could be 2-5, but can still fight his butt off. So you can't really pay too much attention to the records.
Exactly, and his last fight, I asked you off camera before if you saw his last fight against Corey Rodriguez, and you said you hadn't saw his fight, but his last fight went to a draw, and it was definitely a pretty good fight. Like you said, he does come to fight. So, and I'm sure he's going to come to fight you as well, just like he did against Corey. But I've also heard that you plan on making Duluth, Minnesota, or the area, your second boxing home. Is that true?
Yeah, I fought in West Michigan quite a few times. I've headlined some shows over there. This will be my second time this year fighting in Duluth. It's a beautiful city. I got to meet a lot of the crowd last time I fought here. Just fighting here, it's nice. The venue was nice last time. I'm looking forward to the Grandma Sports Bar, the different venue. But yeah, the whole city alone, everybody here, the people, it's been real nice. And if there's opportunity to keep fighting here, then I'm all for it.
Okay, and just to clarify, your last time you fought here, you actually fought at Black Bear Casino, right outside of Duluth in Carlton, Minnesota, and that was against David LaCour, who you actually stopped with some of your body shots in the fight. So, and this time, like you said, you're fighting at Grandma Sports Garden, who brings in a huge boxing crowd for amateur and pro fights. So some of the crowd, I'm sure, that already seen you fight once is definitely going to be there to see you again and support you. And like I said, I've seen you fight personally myself, and you're a very exciting fighter, and I know Gilbert is a very exciting fighter, so this is definitely going to make for quite a matchup. So I recommend to the boxing fans and the crowd that are just getting into boxing to come out and watch this fight, because I definitely think this is going to be a good fight. It's going to be well worth the money, and I mean, there's 14 amateur fights on the card as well. But this is definitely going to be the showstopper, in my opinion. That's just me. But like I said, if you're a boxing fan, you definitely do not want to miss this fight. On a few other notes, I know that you actually have also beaten a Cuban Olympic bronze medalist before, and I believe you were the underdog in that fight. And they claim you shouldn't have won that fight. And did you actually stop him in that fight?
No, that one was a split decision in Tucson, Arizona on Showtime. Yeah, it was supposed to be a tough fight for me. I think they were calling me to come in and lose. We were both undefeated at the time. But I just trained hard and went out there and fought the best I could, and I got the split decision against him.
So like you said, basically you're willing to fight whoever your manager really matches you up with, because I mean, I've checked your record as well, and you fought a lot of undefeated fighters. You've beat some of the undefeated fighters. You only have one loss, and that was against an undefeated fighter. So, I mean, you're definitely not afraid to step in the ring against anybody.
Yeah, you can't be scared in this business.
So, I mean, is there any names that come to the top of your head after this fight that you're willing to get in the ring with next?
I'm not really calling anybody out, but I want to keep busy, keep fighting anybody that I can, anybody that's gonna move me. I don't want to fight lesser class or guys that are 2-10 or 3-15. I don't want those kind of fights. I want fights that are gonna progress my career and move me to the top of it.
Okay, now seeing Gilbert's coming down in weight, so would you be willing to fight any more guys up in his weight class, or would you prefer to stick with the weight class that you're in?
I think what we're fighting at right now is as high as I'm going to fight, because I'm a 140-pound fighter, and to make this fight happen, I said I'd go up to 144.
Okay.
So, but I'm definitely a junior welterweight.
But what if any more of those guys in his weight class are willing to come down to fight Johnny Garcia? Are they more than welcome, or what?
Yeah, for sure.
Let's say that fast.
if you're in the Duluth area or Minnesota, you know, come out and check me out this Friday. You know, I guarantee it's gonna be action packed. It's gonna be a good night of boxing.
All right, well, Johnny, I appreciate your time, and thanks for the interview, and good luck. And I hope, honestly, I hope you don't stop him quick, man, because I want to see an exciting fight. But I know if he leaves that body open for that body shot, it might be a short night for Gilbert. So good luck, Johnny.
All right,
thank you.
Appreciate it.
September 6th, Grandma Sports Garden, Duluth, Minnesota. Johnny Garcia against Gilbert Venegas. You do not want to miss this fight.
Boxing with the truth. Johnny Garcia.